Hello, friends. Welcome back. If you're returning, if you are not returning and this is your first time, hello. Thanks for stopping by. It is raining out. I was outside doing some gardening and it began to thunder and lightning. So that drove me inside. And though I have 1,000,001 unfinished projects, I am starting a new project right now. And this is what it is. It is a loose tooth bear, if you will. It's a bear. It's going to have a little pocket so that a child can put their recently lost tooth in it. So the tooth fairy or whomever can come and leave them something in the night. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to open the window because it's very hot. Wait just a moment. Okay. Whew. Hopefully the rain won't come in, but I feel a lovely breeze. Can you hear the thunder? Okay, thinking of thongs. Thinking of thongs. No, I'm not thinking about thongs or underwear today. I'm thinking about songs that have to do with thunder. They're popping in my head. All right, so I have a piece of freezer paper because I'm going to trace my bear on that, and it's a larger piece than I needed. So I creased it, and as I put it down on the floor, let me lower you down. As I began to rip it like this, it reminded me of, oh, that's not a very good rip now, is it? When I started, it was tearing well, but now it's tearing in a jagged way. But this reminded me of when I was a kid. The teacher would do this with paper for our spelling test or any kind of test that we might be having, and she just needed a small strip of paper. Anything like that in your childhood where paper got creased in half? And often the teacher would put it on the side of a desk and sometimes use a ruler and just give it a good rip. So anyway, so I'm going to lower you back down and you can watch me trace my bear. Or if you find that dull as dirt, you can go grab some coffee or tea or, I don't know. Watch if you want, or go off and do something else that's less like watching paint dry. All right, I'm going to trace my bear. Let's go down a little bit lower. Okay, can you see through the paper? A little bit, right? So I have a piece of cashmere, some cashmere. My sister used to work for a company that made wool capes. And some of the capes were cashmere. And so this place would give away, I don't think they ever really sold the scraps. They gave them away. And so my sister, sometimes I would get bags of scraps from her. It's mostly a very thick wool. I got very little cashmere, but yeah, I have made a few things with the thick wool. I haven't really hooked with it because it It is very thick, and one side, it's not like traditional wool for rug hooking. It's very, one side just has a very unique sort of coarse woven sort of texture, not at all like the wool that's traditionally used for rug hooking. But you know, so many things are used for rug hooking these days that excuse me. A friend of mine, I gave her some of it, and I'm going to have to see what she has hooked with it. I'll be curious to see that. I did use some of the black, so I only got black and a camel color cashmere, and with some of the black I made hand warmers. They were small rectangular pieces of wool, 2 pieces that I blanket stitched together, and I put pie weights inside and stitched it closed. And if you put them in the microwave for a certain amount of time and heat them up, you can put them in your pocket, the pocket of your winter coat, and they can keep your hands warm. But I found that they didn't keep a person's hands warm for very long. So yeah, I didn't make too many of them. They looked pretty cute and they felt lovely because they were cashmere, but I'll try to, I think I have a few left. I'll dig them out and show you. Wow, can you hear the rain? It's coming down hard. So right now I'm tracing the bear's pocket. And now I will trace the little tooth. I used to work for a dentist and became friends with the hygienist, and then she had a mobile van servicing kids in schools, and I made her something with, I think it was an angel, and I put teeth on it because her nonprofit was called Tooth Angels. All right, so here's my traced bear and the pocket and the tooth. And now I've got to get some pins. I didn't get all my ducks in a row before starting this video. So I'm going to go get some pins and some scissors, and I shall return. I found the hand warmers, or pocket warmers, whatever you want to call them. So here they are. I put little stitched little snowflakes on them. Can you hear the eye weights in there? Yeah, so I still have 2 sets of those. I had them for sale at a small craft sale that I participated in many years ago, and they didn't sell. Perhaps I priced them too much. Perhaps people had no use for cashmere hand warmers. I should put them in my Etsy shop and see if they sell. Got nothing to lose, right? All right, so I was hoping, this is the largest piece of camel colored cashmere I have, and I was hoping, hear that thunder? I was hoping that I would have enough to leave about a 1/4-inch seam so that I could sew my bear on my sewing machine, but alas, this piece is not going to be large enough, so I'm going to have to cut my bear out. Yes, so did you save your child's teeth as they fell out? I did. Did I tell you that I was making this because my granddaughter recently lost her first tooth? So that's the impetus for me starting a new project and for me starting this loose tooth fairy bear. So, yes, I used to save my daughter's loose teeth. Don't know that I saved all of them, but I had several and kept them in a small bottle. And just wasn't that long ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, 3 to 5 years ago, I came upon them in a drawer, and I looked at them and I thought, why am I still saving these? And I threw them away. And did you keep your child's first haircut? Some of the hair from the first haircut? I did. My mom did, and that's probably why I did. And I think I do still have my daughter's locks. Just a few. I think I still have those. So here's another question. Did your mom keep a baby book about you? Did she write, when you first spoke, when you first walked, when you first smiled, when you first laughed, how much you weighed when you were born, all that sort of thing? My mom did. My mom did for all 5 of her children. And I kept one for my daughter. Do you know what my mom wrote in one of, well, no, not one of, she wrote it in, well, actually, I guess I should say one of, because she wrote 2 baby books for me for some reason. Probably they were given as gifts, and she decided to write a little something in both. Not quite sure why, but in one of my baby books, my mother wrote something rather scandalous. Oh, right, scandalous is an exaggeration. Scandalous is not the right word. But she wrote in my baby book that one of my brothers, second to oldest child, she said that he and I were the homely babies. Pardon me, Mother. I look at a baby picture of me and I thought I was pretty cute. Did you see that baby picture of me and my brother in my video about the brook, the childhood brook where I played? Well, at the end of that, when I'm reciting a poem I wrote about the brook, I show a picture of the youngest of my 3 brothers and I. He and I were closest in age, and I think that I was a cute baby. I can handle the truth, so if you think I was a homely baby, you go ahead and let me know in the comments. Yeah. What a funny thing to write in your child's baby book, right? She wasn't a mean mother. She wasn't an unkind mother. She was incredibly loving. But that just struck me as a very odd thing to write in your child's baby book. think my brother turned out very handsome. I think he was a very cute little boy. You could probably see a picture of him if you look at my Mother's Day video. There's a picture of my two older brothers, and the younger of the two, you'd be able to tell, I think, based on their size. So I think all of my mom and dad's children were cute. So very, very funny that she wrote that. Oh, well. It's okay, Mom. I didn't take it personally. All right, I'm almost done cutting out my bear. Do you know this about cutting, that you're supposed to keep your scissors still and just move the paper? You're not supposed to move the scissors around. You're just supposed to move the paper. Move your hand that's holding whatever it is you're cutting. I recently saw that on a video. I think perhaps it's an intuitive motion anyway, to move the paper rather than the scissors. I guess I've never scrutinized myself as I was cutting. All right, I'm going to look at the back side of the bear where there is no pencil mark, so I can see how well I did, what needs a little bit of tweaking. I think that looks decent enough. Okay, there's my bear. I don't think I'm going to bother to cut out the pocket and the tooth right now. So next, I need to pin my bear to the cashmere. I wonder if it's making it hard for you to see because I'm facing the light from the window. Well, anyway, I'm going to be pointing you down, so don't know that it much matters. All right, I think I want to fold this in half. Got a fairly even bottom. I guess I better angle you down. So let's see if the bear, his arms, I think I need to turn him this way because this is wider to accommodate his arms. So I just need to make sure, yep, that the wool under there is good. So I don't know if I should cut 2 layers or not. I'm thinking not. So I shall pin my dear bear right here. Got to just go through. All right, since I'm not doing 2 layers, I can unfold that. Unfold that. Okay. Yes, it's kind of unfortunate that it decided to rain today. I had a Buddhist gathering at my house this morning, so I couldn't be out gardening this morning. The meeting started at 10, and we had quite a lovely discussion after, and so I don't think people left until around 11:30. So then I did a few things inside and decided I should have my lunch before I go out and garden. So that's what I did. So therefore I didn't have a terribly long time to garden before the rain came. Here comes the rain again, falling on my head like a new emotion. I can't sing, I've told you that, so I hope I didn't just hurt your ears. That's an Annie Lennox song. Annie Lennox, who used to be with the Eurythmics. All right. There, I think I'm ready to cut. See if I can cut. I might want to get smaller scissors, but let me just do this first. You know what? I think I'm going to cut it as much of a 1/4 inch away as I can, because I just might be able to get my wish of, yeah, it's going to be a little tight there and there. It's about a 1/4 inch though. Might be able to get my wish to the machine stitch deer cashmere there. I'm going to have to make sure to sew his pocket and features on before I stitch him shut. Oh, I hope I have enough. I hope I have enough. That would be very exciting. I think I'm going to have to trace a second one of him, because although I could trace around him, because I don't want to yeah, I think I'm gonna have to trace around my guy, talking about my guy. See what I mean? Let me know, do you think in song lyrics too? Anybody out there? I think it's fun. I wonder how many people do think in song lyrics like I do. I don't think everybody does, so I wonder what that means about me. I think I need a psychological analysis so somebody can tell me what it means about me and my personality, or me and my psyche. Air feels lovely. If it clears off, if the rain stops, I shall go out and do some more gardening. Still have to get my plants in. So today I planted, I got my cucumber seedlings in. I was waiting for my husband to finish the cages around our raised bed. So I planted cucumbers, got my parsley planted for the second time. Parsley that this time did not get eaten by a critter. What else? Basil. I was just about to start putting basil in when a very loud clap of thunder and lightning happened, and that drove me inside. Some people absolutely love thunder and lightning, but I'm not one of them. I'm not one of them. I find it a little bit frightening. Don't know why. I do remember as a kid one thunder and lightning storm we had, I was standing near the window looking out, and there was a clap of thunder and a large bolt of lightning, and the maple tree in our front yard went crashing down right in front of the window I was standing in front of. Scared the bejimbas out of me. So I'm guessing that may have something to do with my fear of thunder and lightning. You know, the thunder part is just startling when you get that sudden loud clap of thunder. It's just startling, so it sort of gives you a quick fright. But the scary part of a thunder and lightning storm really is the lightning, because you don't know if it's gonna strike your house or strike something nearby. So that's that. And you know, when I was a kid, you used to hear stories of if someone was talking on the phone, the lightning could go through the telephone line, the telephone wire, and zap you while you're on the phone. And my mom used to say, you know, don't run water or take a shower during a lightning storm because, I don't know, something about the water, I don't know, follows the water line. I don't remember the details, but so yeah, I've always been cautious about running water during an electrical storm. Yeah. Do you have any thunder and lightning stories? Some people like sitting on a porch and just watching the light show. Not me. It's okay. We're all different, right? We're all different. Okay, so there's my bear cut out. Yes, I think I've got to figure out how I am going to mark this bear. I do have some chalk markers. I have a white pen, sort of marking pen for marking quilts and stuff. So, you know what? I could use black cashmere to make his pocket. I haven't decided if I want to do that or if I think I might do a sweet cotton pocket, although the tooth wouldn't show up on it unless I make a little wool tooth. I'm gonna have to think this out. I'm gonna have to decide what I want to do with my bear. All right, let me go get a marking pen and I'll be right back. Here are two options. I couldn't find the white pen, so here are two options. And I've kind of tested them out, and I think that I need to go with the, can you see the, I think I need to go with this one, because chalk just, my hair, I can't figure out what's happening with it. The chalk could brush away, so I'm kind of leaning toward the water erasable marker. So let me give that a whirl. You know what? Just realizing that would need to be marked on the wrong side. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Right sides together. Well, you know what? Maybe I've cut it out well enough that I will just need to do, it doesn't have to be perfect. I will just put right sides together. I will consider what I have done. I'll consider how I've cut it out good enough, and I'll sew it together. Maybe this should not be the first one I do. I think maybe I need to do another one and have that be a prototype. Would you concur? I think that might be the wise thing to do. Yes, indeedy. So I think I'm going to have to pause yet again, and I'll be back. Can you tell I don't make things like this on the regular? Normally, this is the kind of thing, because I hadn't thought out that I have to put right sides together to sew my bear together on the sewing machine, and I have to rethink that. That's the kind of thing that stops me in my tracks, and I might just discard the project for a while because I didn't want to take the time to figure it out or plan a different color, or just certain things happen that stop you in your tracks, stop your plans, stop your momentum. But if I were blanket stitching or whip stitching this together with wrong sides together, it'd be fine. And maybe I'll do that with this one, I don't know. But I have cut out another paper bear, and this time, instead of pinning, which is often what you do with freezer paper, you iron it. That's the whole idea of using freezer paper, is that you can iron it to something and it sticks. So I have ironed it to the, and for this prototype bear, I'm using wool felt. So I have ironed it to the wool felt, and now I'm cutting it out, leaving about 1/4 of an inch roughly. So I can have that as my seam allowance. I still have my iron plugged in because I intend to take the freezer paper off of this once I get it cut out. And then I will iron it onto another piece of wool felt. Then I'm going to have to decide what kind of a pocket I want to put on the bear, and decide what to do the tooth in. And yeah, so my little project of doing a tooth fairy bear for my granddaughter is turning into a much more extensive project. Not at all how I intended this to go down, but so it's going down. So I will keep going. Oops, gotta cut between his little legs. Yes, indeedy do. So, tell me about your tooth fairy experiences, or tell me if you have made anything or had somebody make something for you. Tooth fairy pillow or something. Speaking of pillows, I was looking for something in my sewing room this week, but I couldn't find it. Surprise, surprise. It's fairly organized up here, but things are in disarray. But maybe not as organized as I need to be with where patterns are and stuff. I mean, most of them are on my tall bookshelf that I showed you, but some I have in different places because I'm either working on them or I want to work on them soon. And so, yeah, gotta find it. It's a pillowcase that I want to make, and I don't want to reveal any more about it just yet. So, all right, this one is cut out. Now I will peel off the freezer paper. Get his little arms undone first so I don't rip them. Oof, I feel like something's biting me. I tell you, when you have ticks in your yard and you spend time outside gardening and whatnot, you get a little bit paranoid when you have any sort of itch or feel something crawling. All right, so there's that guy. I'm going to go see little fur that got left behind. I'm going to go iron him onto another piece, and I will be back yet again. The sun has come back out. How does that song go? The sun will come out tomorrow. That's from a play, isn't it? Annie? Ooh, ooh, ooh. All right, so I have both pieces of my prototype wool felt bear cut out. I have sort of made a bit of a face on him. I thought the face on this bear, doesn't he look angry with his mouth turned down like that? I think he looks angry. I don't want to give a little child an angry looking bear. So I gave him a little bit of an upturn. See how it looks. So I cut out a pocket and a tooth, both out of wool felt, and I am just going to whip stitch the tooth onto the center of the pocket, and then I will whip stitch it, I think, or maybe what do you call this stitch that you're just going along in a line? Back stitch? Something like that. So, oops. No, I did knot it. Yes, at first I thought I forgot to knot my thread. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of a whipping along here. You don't want to wait while I do this. So I'll be back. The sun has come out, yes, so I may need to get back out in the garden. We'll see. where did we leave off with my bear process? I finished the pocket. I whip stitched a wool felt tooth on. Then I got some heat and bond out and ironed it to a piece of fabric, and then adhered that fabric to the back of the tooth pocket so that when a mama or a dada tries to fish the child's tooth out of the pocket, it won't get snagged on the stitching from the tooth. So there's that. And I did French knot eyes on the bear. And I have been struggling terribly with satin stitching his nose. I find it very hard to keep a straight line and to get the lines close enough. So I've done it a few times, pulled it out, so I'm struggling with that, but I will persevere. I will get it. And once that's done, I can whip stitch or somehow attach the pocket to the bear's tummy, and then I can sew it all together. But as you can see, the sun has come out, and I need to get back out and garden. Garden when you can. So I'll be back later to show you the progress of my bear. So I finished the bear's face. I sprayed water on it a wee bit ago to get the blue water-soluble marker off. And now I am blanket stitching his pocket on. I also made the pocket smaller because I decided it just took up too much of his body, and I also decided it might be hard for a mama or a dada to get the tooth out of the pocket if it was too narrow and deep. So I just made it a little bit shorter. And now I am blanket stitching it on. In case you would like to watch, I will lower the camera. In case you have never seen blanket stitching before, I will show you. Hope you can see. So, this is the process. You decide how far you want your stitches apart. My hands are probably in the way. This is probably not going to work. And then you come up the edge of the pocket. See that? So I took a bite down here into the pocket, and then I come up just above where I took the bite. Yes. So that's up, and I've got to catch this loop. I've got to go through the loop. Now I think I can just keep, if I keep the embroidery floss behind, I think I don't even need to catch the loop. Let's see. Yeah. If I just keep the embroidery floss behind the needle, then I don't have to go through, because the needle comes out where it's supposed to be. my horse's sounding voice. My voice is sounding hoarse. But I do have a unique voice. Some people often ask me, do you have a cold? Or I'm like, no, this is just my normal voice, just sort of deep, and I don't know how you describe it. How would you describe it? So, Yeah, so this is just my prototype, my Tooth Fairy bear. And yeah, so it's not going to be the one that I give my granddaughter. I kind of decided I didn't think this green looked so terrific with the color of my bear, but I'm not going to change it. Now my thread is too short to continue, so I'm going to go right behind where I just came up to secure the thread there. And then I'm going to go around to the back and make a knot. And I want the knot close to the bear. So this time I'm going to take my needle out and put it right up against the wool felt and secure it like that. And snip. And now get another piece of floss. So yes, this is the day after I started my bear. So this morning I went to chant with my friend Shelley. We went to Bath, Maine. Bath is a beautiful little city. So many sea captains' homes there. I love Bath. Could easily live in Bath. So yeah, we went to chant at a fellow Buddhist's house. And then I came home and it's wet and chilly and rainy outside again today, so I'm not out there gardening. I took some peonies with me this morning to give to my friend whose house we chanted at. And it's my needle. Yeah, so then I came home and I did a bunch of laundry, folding and putting more in, and yeah, and then I decided to take a bit of time to work on this bear. And once I get this done and stuffed, I want to see about starting the one for my granddaughter. All right, so that side is done now. So I left off right there. And so I'm going to come up at the top. Let me just get it started. I try to make my stitches as evenly spaced as possible. But all right, so you see I'm coming up at the top of the pocket, or it's the bottom, but you're looking at the top of what I'm showing you. So hope I knotted it. No, I did not. I'm glad I thought of that, so I don't have to pull it through and go through that all over again. So there we go. And now, oh dear, I messed up, because there's not going to be, don't know if you can see it, but there's not going to be the carrying embroidery floss up along here, because I started over here. So I've got to pull that out and redo. Redo. That could be a song, couldn't it? Maybe. Oh, brother. All right. Let us, Lettuce, let us try that again. I am having a cup of Ticino, mocha and mint Ticino, I think it is. It's a sort of coffee alternative. It's very tasty. Some people probably wouldn't like it. They may think it's a little bitter, maybe. I don't know. When I was young, my grandmother used to drink Postum. And actually, when I was pregnant, because I did not want to consume caffeine when I was pregnant, I drank Postum through my pregnancy. I liked it very much. Postum is made with barley. I love doing a blanket stitch. I just love any kind of hand stitching. As I've said before, this is the sort of thing that I want to be doing full time. Yes, it is. I want to be making and selling, or making and teaching others how to do this stuff. In person, preferably. Because, yeah, I think there are enough people teaching stuff online. Oh, you know what I actually need to do? I need to call somebody because next week may be my day for my first interview, showing you what somebody else in Maine is making besides me. Yes, I'm excited to get that underway. And yeah, I've got to dump a lot of photos and videos off my phone to see. That stitch is a little long too, but I'm not taking it out. So I need to get some more space, free up some space on my phone. I could lower you down a little bit. It wouldn't be quite so dull. So I need to get more space on my phone before I video another maker. All right, I am taking the last blanket stitch in my bear. This bear reminds me of, so I taught kindergarten for 1 year, just 1 year. And the face on this bear reminds me of something from that year that I taught kindergarten. It was a very rural school, very rural, and I had a teeny tiny class. Sometimes I feel reluctant to tell people how many kids I had in my kindergarten class. Anyway, somehow this bear reminds me of something from that year. I did do some fun things. That was back in the day, and back in the day when you could do fun things with kids in schools. I had the kids bring teddy bears to school one day, and we went on a bear hunt. I don't know if you know that story, going on a bear hunt. And I had them do a story, brown bear, what do you see? And I had them draw pictures. And so we did a book like that. We made teddy bear heads out of a rice cake with peanut butter and I think pretzels for ears and raisins for eyes and nose. And yeah, it was fun. We did that. We sat under the gazebo at the school and had our snack of rice cake and peanut butter. And I think I took some magnifying glasses, to pretend we were, on a bear hunt looking with our magnifying glass, although maybe it was binoculars, because a magnifying glass wouldn't make much sense either if you had a bear that close. Yowzer. So must have been pretend binoculars. Maybe we made them out of toilet paper rolls or paper towel rolls. That sounds about right. Anyway, all right, now is the time to decide. Am I going to blanket stitch my bear shut? Or am I going to sew on the sewing machine? Yikes, I'm scared. I am scared. You know what? I think I'm going to blanket stitch since I enjoy blanket stitching so much, and since I'm afraid because I think this part rayon in this wool felt, and I'm afraid trying to get it right side out, I'm afraid I will distort the wool felt. So this guy, I'm going to blanket stitch. So I'm going to have to pick out my color embroidery floss to match it, and yeah, I'll be back. Here's the progress. Let me go closer. So I've got to go up around his head and that arm, and then I have to stop so I can stuff it. But I'm thinking I might stuff it, at least stuff his legs and that arm before I continue. It might be easier to stuff that way. So, but right now I have to start some dinner, so my cute little tooth fairy bear will have to wait. I'll be back to show you my finished guy. I'm in the kitchen because I had to take a break from my tooth fairy bear, to start dinner. The oven just beeped because it's preheated, and I am making my favorite meatloaf with alterations. I tried multiple meatloaf recipes over the years in search of the best one. And this is what I found to be the best one. And it is, some of you were curious about my cookbook stand. So it is on a spring. Spring is right back there. And it pulls down and forward. Little plexiglass to protect your cookbook from spatters or whatnot, and the cookbook rests on this shelf. So there it is. So here is the cookbook, the Jimtown Store cookbook. Years ago, I don't know if it was a Country Living magazine or what, but there was an article about the people who owned Jimtown Store in California. and it sounded like a super cool place, and the cookbook was mentioned. I don't know if some of the recipes were featured in that article or not, but I ordered the cookbook, and here's the couple super cute photo. This is my favorite meatloaf recipe. It's called maple glazed meatloaf. And the alterations I'm making, because I like avoiding dairy and gluten, so it called for milk and yogurt or sour cream. So I used almond milk in place of unsweetened almond milk, in place of the milk, in place of the yogurt / sour cream. I used coconut milk yogurt because that's what my husband and I eat, and it's unsweetened, but it's vanilla. So that's kind of an odd addition, but we'll see how it goes. And it also calls for some crackers, a half a cup of crushed saltine crackers. So I substituted, I didn't want to do a whole half cup, so I did a third of a cup of old-fashioned oats. So I have it all mixed up in the bowl. And now I'm going to use my kitchen tools to form it into a loaf. Let me just tuck that out of the way. Boom. Boom. I don't think there's too much there I need to worry about. Set it in the sink for now. It might go crashing. So then I just pat a cake baker's man. I just pat it and form it into a loaf shape. So I want it to be compact. I don't want it to have a bunch of, and I'm using a half sheet pan with a piece of parchment. When I learned about, I've known about not cooking with aluminum for quite some time, but I guess I thought these pans were stainless steel for some reason, so I didn't used to put anything on them, but then I realized they're aluminum, so now I always, anything I cook on these, like roasting vegetables or anything like that, I cover it with parchment paper. So, forming my loaf. I can still see a few cracks, but hopefully it won't split all apart. And I'll show you. There's the loaf. Bacon, I've got to put bacon slices over it. And maple syrup and mustard goes on top. This is the best meatloaf ever. So good. All right, let me get the bacon. I partially cooked some bacon. Let me see which direction I want to drape it in. I think I'll go in this direction. Going to go in this direction. So I will have to, well, I guess I won't have to. I was going to say I should stop the camera. So back here. It's the writing sometimes, plus the lighting isn't great in here. A quarter cup of syrup and an 1/8 of a cup of Dijon. 1/4 of a cup of syrup. Do you like meatloaf? Do you have a favorite recipe? What was I gonna say? Oh, I don't eat regular bread anymore, but oh, a meatloaf sandwich with mayonnaise. Ooh la la. Do you like those? I love them. I love them. So, sorry about that noise. That whoopee cushion. Is that what one of those farting pillows is called? Is that called a whoopee cushion? I don't know. Maybe. I know what the term whoopee means, but I don't think there's cushions related to that. So I'm thinking it's a one of those poopy cushions, pretend fart cushions. A friend of mine, she used to call farts foofs, which is a nicer, more delicate way of saying it, isn't it? My mother used to say break wind. Oh, the things I talk about on this channel. Holy moly. Underwear and foofing and... oh boy. I don't know. What do you think about me? Cuckoo cuckoo. I don't know. Anyway, here goes. Let me tilt you down a little bit. You're going to see some. I'll bring it over here. There we go. All right. Look at that lovely, lovely meatloaf. Whoopsies. Okay. I guess that's as close as I can go. Okay. Not that you need a close-up of me drizzling maple and Dijon over my... I feel like it should have been underneath the bacon. It's going in the oven. And I'm going to maybe wash up some dishes or leave them for my husband. And I'm going to go try to finish my bear tonight. Yes. Yes. Okay. I'll be back to show you my bear, I hope, tonight. Here is the meatloaf fresh out of the oven. I cut the end off to sample, and it tastes delicious. It's late. I'm in my jammies, but I wanted to show you the finished Tooth Fairy bear. He's all done. And here he comes. Ta-da! Here's a close-up. Close-up of his pocket. There's where the tooth goes. That's my prototype. Now I need to start on the one that I'm actually going to send my granddaughter. Who knows? Maybe if I do that one, I'll decide I like this one better. I don't know. But oops. But anyway, there's my Tooth Fairy bear. Making Tooth Fairy bears in Maine. Please like, share, subscribe, and I hope you visit again soon. In the meantime, from my heart to yours, from Barry's heart to yours, hope you stop back again soon. Bye for now.